Yo, what's up? Julianne Huff. How are we doing?
Good.
Good. This is gonna be fun because I feel like we can tell a lot of I already know where you're going. I know what story you're about to tell. It literally just popped in my brain. All right, so before we get going, wild or funny story, what you got for everybody?
Okay, well, funny story. So when I was I think I was like 12 maybe, I was doing this really difficult bar routine. And Coach Brooke was spotting me on like one of the skills of my bar routine. And at the end of my bar routine, I get done with it and I go for my dismount and I don't let go of the bar. And I flipped over the high bar and landed on the low bar and sat like in between the two bars, like what just happened. And Brooke was like, I'm not going to coach someone that's being so silly. Go do basics. And ever since then, I haven't done a back dismount except for I learned a back dismount last year. So,
That's funny. That's hilarious. Does Brooke remember this? Of
oh
course.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny.
It was like I literally flew over the high bar. Like I don't even know how to explain. Like I just flew over the high bar and I didn't even know that I didn't let go. Like it was crazy.
First of all, it's funny because I can literally see her facial expressions being like, I'm not going to coach an idiot today. Just leave.
Yeah.
Actually, so I thought you were going to tell the story of like being in the gym,
I
like with when
actually yeah, I actually thought about that. The whole like 10 sprints when we got to 10 down back sprints that you made us do.
I was talking about when I was training your brother,
Oh,
when you were in the gym and God, you had to be like 7 or 8 years old. You were young.
I don't even remember that really.
Oh, you don't remember being at the
I
gym
remember
there?
seeing it, but I don't remember saying anything about it.
Oh yeah, like I remember because then I don't know if they had a match or something like a couple nights later. But we were at the high school and I remember sitting in the stands and it was I don't remember if it was your mom or your dad like leaned over and they were like, she's not happy with you.
That's
Just
funny.
she said that you were gonna kill her brother. And I was like, we're just wrestling, dude.
I mean, he was dying.
Okay, dying's extreme. That's a bit much.
Um,
He was
I-
struggling
yeah, he couldn't breathe.
to breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. It was Patterson though, right? It wasn't Riley. It was Patterson.
I think it's Patterson, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. All right, dude, let's dive in. Here's one of the questions. I think, like obviously, I have like if knowing you as long as I have, as we kind of open up, is just dive into like the growth piece of things. And I guess like the first question that comes to my mind is why do you feel like just in terms of like sheer potential, like why do you feel that people like high achieve when I say like you, I just mean like a high achiever, like struggle sometimes to like see how much like potential they actually have, or it takes them a while to like uncover and like dig through 7 feet of dirt to be like, oh, like here's my potential. And then I guess maybe touch on a little bit too of like how you've continued to like uncover like how much potential like you actually have and like chasing after like your dreams and like your mission this year.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like in gymnastics it's hard because you do want to score a 10, so you're always chasing perfection. It's kind of hard growing up, like comparing yourself to others, and like coaches can sometimes play into that. I mean, I think that was some of my journey. Um, I had to go through that. Like, since coming to college, I've definitely opened my eyes and like you've helped me see the potential that I actually have. And I mean, it's still an everyday struggle, but I think it's just the idea that I in the past have been too result oriented. And I was
Mm.
like, if I get this score, like that means I'm good. And obviously that doesn't work out because you're going to mess up. So every time like I would mess up, it would be like, okay, well that then the score reflects actually how I am. And it doesn't. Like you make mistakes, like it's really the whole progress. Like I would say the whole season is like if you took a season average, it's probably the actual reflection of how you train and how you are, not like one meet in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that. I mean, I'm still on that journey. So I mean, it's hard to actually see the potential in yourself. I mean, because you can tell it to me all I want, but I'm the one that actually has to believe it for, steps to be made.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes I'd be curious about this too, is I feel like sometimes people struggle to see, like, if they see their potential, like right here, right now, they struggle to see like the next level of it because oftentimes people are like moving the goalpost before they even get the thing, right? It's like, the best analogy I can think of is like you're like, oh, I made more money before they actually swipe the credit card. It's like, no, you didn't actually make the money until they swipe your credit card, until they actually give you the
Yeah.
money. And oftentimes it's like, I want to get the thing. And it's like you're 3 feet from the goalpost. And then all of a sudden you move the goalpost to another level. And then it's like you don't actually get to the first goalpost. And so then it's like frustrating and it almost like deteriorates like where you like what you think that you're actually capable of.
Yeah. And I feel like some of that is you might actually reach the goal, but you don't realize like that you've reached it because you did move it up. So like
That's a good point.
you don't recognize that you actually did accomplish that and that you've because like preseason for me is a struggle sometimes because I'm like, well, I'm not where I want to be. Like I'm not like my January self or I'm not my March self, but like I'm also not my August self right now. So
Mm,
I have to look at where I am in the year. Like obviously I'm not going to be my January self yet, but I've made so much progress and I'm probably like my August self would be very happy with where I am. So you have to look at it kind of that way too.
yeah. What do you like for you personally? What do you feel like has been the biggest growth like since you've come to college?
Um, that's a hard question. I mean, honestly, probably, not making things as difficult. Like coming to
Mm,
college, I always thought like, to achieve like a lot of things, like it has to be so complicated and I have to like think about it so differently. And like really for me, just dumbing it down and like not thinking as much helps me more.
yeah.
And that's been the biggest struggle because I mean, I think a lot as many people do, but um just dumbing it down and thinking about the actual things that get you there and keep doing them, I think that's where I've seen a lot of growth. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day is trying to wrap my head around sometimes like why you guys is oftentimes when you get to college, I won't say the only, but the primary thing that's changed is just the room that you're doing it in. It's like the same routines, the same skill, like 95% of the stuff is the same, except for literally just the room that you're in. And it's like you create all these stories. You're like, oh, now I'm here. And now everything's got to change. And it's like you overwhelm yourself with like thinking versus it literally is kind of the same thing over and over
yeah.
again.
Yeah, well, I mean, in high school, like I never thought about it. Like I never thought about competing that much. Like it was a big deal, but I just went out there and like did my gymnastics and like I was successful with it. And then I feel like you get here and you're surrounded by like everyone's good. And
Yeah.
you're all of a sudden you're competing in practice to get a spot to compete. It's like such a different dynamic, but in reality, if you just do the same thing that you always do, like you're gonna be in lineup. Like it's not like you have to do this extra big thing, like just be
Yeah.
yourself.
What do you feel like is within yourself? I feel like I have my own personal opinion about this. But what do you feel like is within yourself is something that like separates you? I guess like using some of our languages, like what do you feel like is within your identity that like makes you different, makes you stand out, that makes you like powerful, it makes you valuable, like if you will.
I mean, I would say, I don't know if you agree with this, but my ability to
It's
like,
literally you.
but like I have an ability to like step into a state of like my competitive state and not like I have two different states. Now, like I struggle like replicating that state every time, but I know like when I'm the most successful, I'm at a certain state and I feel a certain way to be successful. And I think a lot of people struggle to open that door. So that door's open for me, but I just struggle with like replicating that.
Yeah, I was literally going to say like essentially it's like your competitiveness, right? I feel like that like you have a deep desire to like compete, right? You have a deep desire to like separate yourself, to be on top of the podium, to be the best, so to speak. I guess with that, where do you feel like that comes from?
I mean, I mean, I would say it's from my family probably, but
Yeah.
like, um, I don't know. I think growing up in club gymnastics in Alabama, like I kind of had to separate myself. Like that's kind of, I mean, I had to separate myself to get recognized for colleges. So it's like that kind of just grew, and now I try to separate myself from everyone.
But that's good. I think that's maybe go down that rabbit hole for a second too, is like when did you start to, because I kind of tying this to like the recruiting process a little bit, is I think a lot of people struggle to really grasp the idea that you have to separate yourself. You have to do things differently in order to stand out, right? If everyone sends the same emails, it's like, great. It's like, unless I know who you are, I'm probably going to delete the email, right? There has to be something that separates you also from a competitiveness, like whatever the thing is. And so my question for you is if you can think back and like potentially remember is like when did you start to uncover that piece? That idea of like, okay, yo, like I got to be different, right? Because obviously I understand like the gymnastics world in Alabama too. It's very similar to like the wrestling world in Alabama, right? It's like you're going to have to go to a national tournament. You're going to have to go to a big stage and perform really well. Like if you want colleges to like to be interested or to pick up the phone or to send you an email. So how, or was that something somebody told you, or how did you start to like really understand that, I guess?
Well, luckily, like my gym growing up, we competed like in every other state. Like we never competed in Alabama, so I was always like surrounded at competitions with like my actual competitors that I would be recruited against, you know.
Right.
Um, but that was kind of a realization when I did elite, and I expected like we had a whole elite group in my gym, and we all were gonna train elite and then go and qualify elite. And the first like elite qualifier we went to, like everyone dropped out, and I was like, I was so upset, but at the same time, I was like, why would I quit? Like,
Mm,
in my mind, I just knew like elite gymnastics equals like my dream outcome, which would be college. So I was like, like in my mind, there was no other option. I was like, I have to do elite or I'm like
mm,
going to college, which honestly wasn't true. But in my mind, that's how it was. So, I mean, I only qualified 1 year. And I think just elite itself pushed my boundaries so much. Like, I mean, low key too much, but, um, I think that's what helped me be like, oh yeah, like this is what it means to like actually stand out. Like I had trained alone. It was the hardest like 2 year process of my life. But that's when I realized, yeah, I can't be doing what everyone else is doing that doesn't have goals to go to college. Like I do have to be different to get a different result.
yeah. What's the biggest thing now that you're like now that you're a few years in like in college is like what have you uncovered potentially for you is that you have to do in order to stand out? And that can be on your team, that could be on the national stage, you know, like kind of using that story, right? It's like I realized that like if I had to stand out, I was going to have to train elite. I was going to have to separate myself. I was going to have to do things differently. Now, what have you kind of uncovered within like your few years, almost few years, couple years, a little over a couple years of college that you'll have to do to like in order to stand out? Because like you said, like everybody's on the same level, so to speak, right? Like everybody's good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the really successful ones don't just do the physical work, they also do the mental work. And like I've dealt with like my body breaking down. Obviously, like I have issues that I deal with, and I can't like physically train to the point that I want to. And so there's no other option but to like mentally train myself because there's been so many weeks, like last season, especially because of my foot, like I didn't train before a meet. And it's like I can't sit there and just think that physical training is going to get me everywhere because what if I don't have physical training and I have to go and compete, which I had to do? So I think actually doing the mental training because some people just skip over that. Like in club, I skipped over it. Like to me, it wasn't. I was like mental training, like what's that? But now that like there's so much more mental that goes into it because you have a team that's relying on you, like I would say like training that is what has separated myself from people. Because some people
Yeah.
just bypass that.
Yeah. Is when you that's back in the day when you didn't like me on the mental training.
Yeah. I was
You were
like,
like,
what's
well,
this guy talking about?
will this guy please leave? Actually, funny story. I think you can relate to this. I wonder if it was the same camp. So you remember, God, however old you were when I spoke at Bama camp and you guys were all there.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day because I was like, oh, like what made you end up like having a conversation with me? And she was like, don't take this the wrong way, but like I heard you a while back ago at Bama camp, and I was like, why is this guy here?
I don't even remember what you talked about during that camp.
Oh, that's so
I
funny.
probably didn't listen at all. So
Oh, definitely, definitely not. Definitely not. That's funny. What's been, I guess, like growth for you personally? Maybe the buzzword here is like leadership because you're coming from in club, like you said, when you were training on the elite side, it was you by yourself, right? So it was all like you focus versus now, yes, you have your individual goals, you have your individual dream outcome. Also, like you have the team mission that you guys are trying to accomplish this year. So, what's been kind of that journey of transformation for you, and how do you balance of like pouring into yourself, but also making sure that all the arrows are aligned and everyone's like rowing in the same direction in order to achieve like y'all's team mission?
I mean, I would say a big thing, like me being a junior this year, is like I actually have to make effort in like, building relationships so people trust me. And like I know that, the upperclassmen know what they're doing and we're all aligned and like our team mission and all our individual goals like line up and everything. So it's like getting the freshmen and like the new people to stay in line with that is like I just build relationships with them. And that's like kind of how I've learned to like lead them because last year that was difficult. Like I felt like I didn't really lead with my voice at all. Like it was just like by example. Like everyone says, like they're a leader by example, but I think using my voice this year has actually helped us. And I think we're actually all in line. Like before we said we were in line, but I think this year is like a lot different.
Well, and I think it's important. I just feel like there's a big misconception when it comes to like leadership with that because some people are like, oh, I just lead by example. And if you have 20 people that lead by example, then this makes for a weird locker room, right? Like if no one speaks, like that's odd, right? Like that's strange. Or you're in a team meeting, right? Like okay, well, like who stands up and leads it? Who stands up and like talks? And then or if it's only one person, it's like now they're kind of just talking to themselves. Versus, I think there is this balance of you kind of got to have both, right?
Yeah.
You may be better at leading by example, or it's you may not be the 30-minute stand in front of the team, give the speech, LOL Ryan, but you may be the one sentence Austin, right? Like you may just need to say a sentence or two and people will understand. But I feel like that's a big misconception that people have that like you're either one way or the other. You're either vocal or like example. It's like, no, you kind of need to be both because like if Jeff was like stood in front of y'all and just didn't say anything, he was like, just follow me. It'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, growing up, like I had leaders in my life that like were all talk and like didn't actually do it. So I didn't listen to them. you know? But then the people that led just by example, I was like, well, I mean, they don't influence me anyway. Like they're off to themselves so much. So it's like you do have to have both, really. Like the best leaders I've had, like, have both.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's hard for people to understand too, because especially at y'all's age, you have to, for lack of better terms, it's like you have to find your voice, right? You have to figure out like what's your style, right? How do you speak? Are you like short, straight to the point? Are you like more energetic? Like what is your philosophy? Like what's your style so that people will know that it's like genuine and authentic. It's not you're trying to copy and paste like somebody else's style. I think that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your style? Cuss everybody out? I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm not like the mother of the group, I'll say that.
What's in terms of like team growth each year, like what do you feel like has been like a piece that like you guys uncover is, yeah, just like difference like from year to year that like continues to bring you guys like closer together. Cause you mentioned a second ago, it's like, sometimes I think every team feels this way. It's like, like, is everybody lying? You start to like look at their behaviors, look at their actions, and then that's going to answer the question: do you feel like that you're aligned? And you're like, no, like I feel like right now, like we are in line based off of looking around the room and how people are behaving and the things that people are saying. So, what's been kind of things that you've looked around for that have like pinpointed that, like, yes, like we are in line to achieve said thing?
I mean, I think in previous years like there were more vocal leaders previous years. I think we've had the least amount of vocal leaders, which when I say vocal leader, I really mean someone that talks a lot and doesn't act. And I feel like everyone on our team acts the same way. It's just like, some of us speak up and some of us don't. Like it's, I don't know, we have less of the like all talk, no do. Um, and our culture is different. Like we're all best friends, honestly. And like we know everything about each other. So when we have a bad day, I mean, we know what's going through each other's heads because we know each other so well. Like I think my freshman year and even last year, like I really didn't have a relationship with the upperclassmen like that much. And coming from club, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like I just thought that's how a team was. Like,
Yeah.
no one interacts with each other. And then I realized, oh, that's not the case. And you really don't like if you don't ever interact with the people, you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what their goals are. And I feel like we've done a really good job this year of having the hard conversations about like what our goals are and like what it actually takes
Mm,
inside and outside of the gym to do that. And that's why I think this year is different.
yeah. Love that. Love that. What would be the cliche question is like if you could give your 10-year-old self advice, but I'm going to go back, like I'm going to shorten the time frame because I feel like most people, especially as they enter into like junior and senior years, is like they look back and be like, if I could give my freshman year self advice, um, what do you feel like some of that advice would have been like to yourself um, a couple years ago coming in?
I wouldn't like, we're fed the narrative that, like, you're just a freshman, like, you don't have to, just give it a year, like, just get used to it. And it's like, I feel like I wasted freshman year because of that. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, like, I'm grateful to just be in one event. And it's like, reality, my goal was to be an all-arounder. And like I could have done that freshman year and I just was okay with not doing bars and beam because like everyone told me it was okay. And like I was okay with like not taking the extra turn even when I was healthy. And I did like I regret that because I'm like, no, like I can come in and be an all-arounder freshman year. Like who says I can't? But I just didn't have that like I don't know, you're just fed the narrative that you don't have to compete freshman year. I guess because like, football, like they don't really put people in that are true freshmen. But gymnastics is not that way. Like we need the freshmen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like I wasted that.
Yeah. Cause there's like, it's just like sheer numbers too, right? Like a football team, you have 100 versus like a
Yeah.
gymnastics team, you have 20. And it's like, sometimes you have a big incoming class. You might have 7 freshmen come in at like one
Yeah.
time. It's like that's like a half your team. It's like, all right, well, we can't just have half the team just sticking their toes in the water, being like, we're all feel it out this year. It's like, it's gonna make for an interesting year.
Yeah.
That's interesting too, because I wonder if it ties back to like the first question of like why people struggle to realize their potential. It's like you spend a year playing small,
Yeah.
right? And so then by your sophomore year, it's like you're trying to like ramp up and like, okay, how do I dream big again? How do I start to like really understand like what my potential is versus if you do spend an entire year just like, I'm gonna stick my toes in the water and like see how this year goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting. For you, like I guess like like going through like leadership, you made the comment like when we were talking about like actions versus like being vocal is what's something that and you don't have to like I mean you could give it a specific example, but you don't have to like say a specific like name or anything like that. But what's like how are you influenced? Right? Like, because we all need people around us that I always say it's like you need 3 buckets of people, right? You need people above you, you need people at the same level, and you need people below you. People above you, they show you the world that, like, hey, like, come up here, there's a whole new reality. And you need people at your level because those are the people that keep you motivated, right? It's like, hey, we're chasing after the dream together. And you have people below you, so it's like you're the teacher, right? Like you pass on your wisdom and it like instills those things in you. And so what are the ways that people that are above you that like really move you, that influence you, that allow you to see the world differently, that allow you to like dream big? How are you influenced?
It's funny because, I mean, everyone works hard. And I always think that, like, the people that can do, so many turns, like, they do move me too. But I will say, like, when people like disagree with me, that piece of someone being able to do that for some reason like moves me into like, whoa. Like, I don't know if I've had like friends in the past that like just agree with me to agree with me, but like I haven't been disagreed with so much in the past like year, but it's like the best disagreement. Like it's from my best friends, but like it makes me shift my perspective on everything. And I mean that really influences me because I'm like, now I understand your perspective, you understand mine, and now we can like move together. You're influencing me to like move forward to get to your level. Like I don't know. Having those conversations really influence me more than anything else, probably.
So are you pretty curious? Like, do you ask a lot of questions or is it things that like just get brought up, like whether it be in the gym, whether it be outside the gym, or are you like a super curious person and then start to understand people's perspective?
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty curious. Sometimes I don't like say it out loud, but I always do wonder. But I think everyone's curious in their own way. Um,
You think so?
I I think so. I think some people just act like they're not. But like I think it does definitely help to be curious. I mean, especially working with coaches, like I've had to learn that like in club I didn't have to communicate with coaches, but now I have to. And like sometimes I have to sit there and ask them like, why am I doing this? Like, because sometimes I need the why and I need to be curious enough, to get my answers that I need. But I wouldn't say I'm the most curious person, but I am definitely curious.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely too. And it's probably like a part of it's probably like a maturity thing too, right? Like when you're in club, you're at like 14, 15, 16 like years old. And so it's like just mum's the word. Just kind
Yeah.
of do what you're told versus as you start to grow, as you start to get older, you're just naturally, I think, a little bit more curious. So you have the guts, if you will, to speak up and be like, why are we doing this? This in my brain right now, it literally doesn't make sense, right? Like, why am I not doing X, Y, and Z versus doing A, B, and C? Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know if everyone's curious.
Maybe not. I'm
Interesting.
curious now. If everyone's curious.
Because I don't even think, again, I'm going to tie it back to the very first question of like people struggling to understand their potential is I don't know that people are even curious about that. It's like they just come up with an answer. Because think about it, like how many people would you, I mean, I feel like a good chunk of people is they like get to college and they forget how to dream because they're not curious because for 10 years it was like the dream was to get to college. And then they're there, they're just like, all right, just what do we do? And then, annoying people like me come in and I'm like, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, maybe we should figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like they just stop asking the question of, I mean, because ultimately the answers are endless of like, what do you want? It's like, I mean, really have anything in terms of that.
Yeah.
It's like, are you willing to continue to be curious? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing, like, are you gonna grow? Like, are you gonna expand like who you are and become that higher version of yourself? Um, yeah, I don't know. What's the okay, let's go down this rabbit hole. I'll put you on the spot.
Oh no.
What are you most curious about now? Gymnastics or otherwise? It doesn't have to be, it can be gymnastics related.
You know, I've never thought about that. I mean, I would say this is like outside of gymnastics. I feel like that's influenced my gymnastics career, like relationships wise, like I don't know, with friendships and stuff. Now I'm like super curious about what other people like, how they think. Like not what they think of me, but more of like how they process things. Like I in the past year have been able to be so curious to the point where I like fully understand like I'll ask them like why do you feel that way? Because like in I don't know, growing up I always was just like, oh, I feel this way, you feel that way, and like it's fine. Now I'm
Right.
saying I understand how other people feel, and I feel like that has like actually moved me in gymnastics. Like, I mean, with coaches too. Like I don't know, I'm able to understand people better now, and I feel like I'm still just curious in that aspect of like understanding people and what they actually think.
Yeah, like welcome to my world and it's like super fascinating. I agree with you. It's like super fascinating. Like human behavior is very intriguing, right? Like
Yeah.
why people make the decisions that they make, right? Like how did they come to that conclusion, right?
Yeah.
And then like pulling the thread of like unraveling that whole just like how did you get from there to there? Right? Like it's
Yeah.
very, very, very fascinating.
Well, and honestly, like seeing like I used to put labels on myself, which honestly I still do. But like I've gotten over some of those like labels I used to put on myself, like, I'm not good at this. Like it used to be on school. Like I used to think I was dumb. And like seeing other people on my team and I'm like, they need I know exactly what you're feeling. Like I know exactly like you don't see an out, but like trust me, there's an out. Like I'm just so like I understand how you feel, but like there's a way out.
And I think too, using that specifically is people don't feel like there's a way out because they're battling like 18 years of that same label and it feels like the weight of the world, right? It's like, no, like, I mean, I get like I could probably not feel this way or not feel this label for like a day or a week, but then it's going to come back. And it's like, yeah, but that's the battle, right? It's like, it's the pendulum, right? It's like, you continue to live over here. It's like, conversations with you guys too. It's like, I just got to tip the scales to 51% because I'm at the majority. And if I can get it over here, it's like, and spend enough time over here, eventually it's just going to get rid of this to where that belief, that label, that thought kind of becomes non-existent.
Yeah. It's like I still think about the belief, but I don't believe it, if that makes sense. Like it crosses my mind, but it doesn't like influence how I feel about myself.
Agreed. Right. And it's like, because now kind of two pieces is like, one, you have so much evidence to like create a new story,
Yeah.
right? And then that new story that you've told over and over and over again, and it's like, oh, but like you're not good at math, and it's like, here's all the proof and evidence that I am good at math, and I've created this new story that like I can get an A in math just like I can get an A in every other class. Now, does that mean I may have to put in a few extra hours? Maybe, right? But at the end of the day, it was like it was always possible.
Yeah.
Just figuring out like what's required in order of that. And that's where I think it's very interesting my deep obsessions with like words and like defining them
Mhm.
is the word passion, right? And uncovered recently that from its Latin like origin. Actually, I'll ask you, when you think of like passion, like what do you think it like means? Just spew off like what you internally like feel when somebody's like, oh, like I'm passionate about gymnastics.
Like they have a deep desire.
Yeah, right. It's like I'm enthusiastic, like I have a desire to like be good at this, whatever. From its Latin origin, it means to suffer or endure, right? And so it's like I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Because how often do we utilize that word? And it's like, it's this like find your passion, follow your passion. And then the problem is it becomes this feel good word. And so anytime anything doesn't feel good, it's like, oh, this must not be my passion. I must just like go somewhere
Yeah.
else. Right. Anytime it's uncomfortable, it's like, oh, that's not my passion anymore. And it's like, no, literally the word means to suffer. Right. It's like the example that's come to my mind is like the title of the movie, right? Like the Passion of Christ. Right. It wasn't like, oh, like look how easy life was. Right. It was like, look what he was willing to endure. Look what he was
Yeah.
willing to like suffer for. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy. And so I think a lot of people, even with that, like with gym, it's like, no, there's a way out. Now, if you're passionate about it, right, there probably is something to endure. And it doesn't necessarily mean like physical pain, it could be emotional, mental, like willpower that you have to get through. Um, but yeah, I just think that so many words like that have become like romanticized and they're like, nah, it's not
Yeah.
possible.
I mean, you've opened my eyes to so many. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy that like we think these words like what was it the other day that you said? What was it? It was
I'm talking about priority.
yeah, and how priorities wasn't even a word.
Like literally until like
So like
1930 or
yes,
1940 or whatever it was. It was like that word literally did not exist in the English
that's
language.
crazy. That's crazy.
I know. It's like now it's the more I get obsessed over it, I like write a sentence and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I need to Google all these words and like what they actually mean. Um, yeah, because I just well, and I think sometimes too, and here's the thing, here's like the freeing part with that is sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be like a dictionary definition, but like what's it mean to you, right? Like the one that I bug you guys about so much is like consistency, right? I'm not looking for like the Webster's definition of that, but like don't just throw around the word. It's like I want to be more consistent. It's like, okay, great. Like what's that mean for you specifically?
Yeah.
And I think people struggle with that. And I think again, it's like going back to I think like the original question of like being able to like see your own potential is and I'm so guilty of this. And this is why like Josh and Deborah have been like so instrumental in my life because it's anytime I ask a question, it's like it comes back. It's like, great, what do you want? I'm like, well, fuck. Like I know if I'm about to like raise my hand and ask them a question, I'm like, okay, they're gonna ask me what do I want? Like, how am I gonna describe this? And it's like if I can't, they're just gonna be like, well, go figure out what you want first.
Yeah.
And I think so many people just again, I'm guilty of this probably more than anybody of just like lacking clarity about the thing.
Yeah.
Wow. You feel like you've gotten more like clear on, I guess even like going like from club. Cause like
Yeah.
Loki, I'll brag on you, like in knowing you, it's like Loki, you're kind of a freak athlete, right? And so it's like I can like get away with just like being naturally talented in terms of just like sheer athleticism. And then it's like, okay, now I got to figure out, I got to be clear on what I want. I got to be clear, even going back to club, it's like choosing a school, right? It's got to be clear on like, okay, what is it that I want? Or like, what kind of experience do I want? Do you feel like you've gotten better like in that world, if you will?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it helps to be surrounded by people that, I mean, especially like you helping us with our like mission and stuff, like we talk about it. It helps me even get more clear with my individual goals and like, see my actual potential because talking about it really makes it more clear because you can't
Yeah.
just talk about something that's so vague all the time. It will get boring. Like you have to actually, talk about the details of it. And I think that has, yeah, changed a lot in the past 2 years that I've been here, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think about it even with like food. You would be like, well, that restaurant was good. It's like, okay, but like tell me more.
Yeah.
Like describe it to me. Why was it so good?
Yeah.
And most people struggle with like being able to like describe those things.
Yeah.
Interesting. Who's the most totally off the wall like question, but when we're talking about like being competitive, who's the most competitive in your family of siblings?
Siblings?
Yeah.
Uh, well, I mean myself. But are you talking
Are
about,
you?
oh yeah, definitely. I feel like Riley's probably really competitive, but he likes to like act like he's too cool. But I think that's the like facade. Like I think he's actually really competitive. I
Yeah, I
don't think
definitely think
Patterson cares.
really
I mean, I don't know.
interesting. I mean, there you it's your blood. You would know better than me. I would have, yeah, I probably would have guessed like Patterson being more at the top because I
Well,
do feel like Riley's just so like, "Rah, what's
you
up,
know how
guys?"
people give off like the cool guy, like the chill
Yeah,
guy. They deep down like really like care. That's definitely Riley.
interesting.
So I think like outwardly, like Patterson's definitely more competitive, but like I think Riley deep down is more competitive.
Okay, if you include entire family, who is it still you or your mom's got to be up there?
Oh yeah, my mom's up there for sure. But I would still say it's me.
Yeah, Bill's just chill. He's just thriving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, going a few more questions. Kind of shifting like away from like gymnastics wise a little bit is kind of two pieces. Like, what have you like since you've been to college, like more like uncovered like about yourself and like who you are like as a person, and how has that affected, if you will, on like what you want to do kind of like after life after sports, so to speak, if you know.
Yeah, well, I feel like in club I thought gymnastics was the end all be all. And now I've realized, I do have like a clock ticking down of how many years I have left. And I kind of
True.
do have a life after college. So, I mean, it was scary to think about at first, but I've like come to realize that gymnastics isn't everything. And I've started to like, since I've been in college, apply things that I've learned throughout my 15 years in this sport to actual life. And it's helped me like be like, okay, gymnastics is not everything. Like I do have another life. Like I'm not just an athlete. And I feel like Auburn does a really good, I mean, that's why I chose this school. Like they do a really good job of seeing you as, a person before an athlete. And I've always felt that way. And that's like I've never felt that way. Like I always was the gymnast in high school. Like I was the
Right.
gymnast, didn't go to school, like the weird girl, like the gymnast. And like now I'm like a person. Like I feel like a whole human being, and it's so much more fulfilling.
You know how to speak in public now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how's that do you kind of know like have like career aspirations, or is that like still, are you still trying to like puzzle that piece of the puzzle, puzzle that piece of life together?
Well, I want to go to grad school for physical therapy and be a physical therapist. And I was like wrestling with like athletic trainer, physical therapist for like the first 2 years, but I'm pretty certain that I want to be a physical therapist now. So,
Why, like, what was
um,
the draw towards that, I guess is what I'm asking.
well, I mean, the subjects interest me, first of all. And I feel like being an athlete, like I've always been in physical therapy or I've always been in athletic training. And I have had like some experiences that I didn't like. And but I have had experiences I loved and I want to be that like outlet for other athletes. Like I, want to be their advocate, to get them back to 100% because I feel like some physical therapists I've worked with, like I just feel like I'm on the back burner and I didn't love that. So I want to, make everyone feel seen and heard for their injury and like no matter how small it is, like you're obviously going to physical therapy like for a reason and so I want to be that person for them.
Love that. You know, you're gonna need some patience.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm working on it.
Can't just come in there and cuss all the clients out now.
Oh my gosh.
That's fun. No, but that's good. Yeah, I think that, well, that's why I'm curious is like everybody kind of has like their own backstory, their own journey. And for some people, it is like a hybrid of like they've had good or bad, like pleasurable or painful experiences. And some people it's like just painful experiences. And some people it's like it's been nothing but like pleasure. And so it's like, like I want to give that, right? It's like I've talked to people that even want to get like into like potentially gymnastics coaching and they're just like, well, like my upbringing was different than most people's because I had such a great experience and I want everyone to experience that. So I'm always just curious of like where people, like why they're drawn to something. Is it all pleasure? Was it pain, or was it like a hybrid like of
Yeah,
both, somewhere in the middle? Yeah.
definitely.
All right, last question. If you were in a stadium with 100,000 people and you could only leave them with one message,
Oh.
what would your message be?
Um, I would say that not like you're the only person that will advocate for yourself. No one else is thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. So use your voice to advocate for yourself, but also no one's thinking about what you're doing, and it's not big of a deal if you mess up.
That was really good. I'm like, you know me, I'll be honest with you. That might be like one of the best answers that somebody's ever like ended with. I'm not trying to be
Good.
funny.
I'm
Like
glad.
that was really good. Like most people go like the cliches, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other one that um like may top that one is somebody said like never skip leg day, but they weren't talking about like actual weightlifting. It was that your legs are the foundation of your body. And so it's like don't, and I was
Oh,
like, bro, I'm stealing
that was
that. Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his was like super good. So that, yeah, definitely on up there. Well, that's good, dude. Always good to chat with you. I appreciate you jumping on. So yeah, dude, had a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Till next time, everybody. Peace.